How's everybody doing? How's everybody doing? Good morning. Look what a beautiful view. What a beautiful. It's like living in Rome. No, there is no convection here. The palm trees aren't even swaying. It is 110 degrees out here. It's hot. It's hot. So this is my room, everybody. Of course, it's for $500 a day. It's not bad. It's cute. There's my wine, girl. Of course, you all know I had to go shopping for my new life. Okay, but there's no maid service. That's the only thing that I'm like, no maid service. I gotta clean and mop, and I gotta clean the bathrooms and the towels. You got, I get used to it, but my body's not even made. A Dowson thread and Egyptian cotton, but still, I don't want to do the bitch. They gotta do it, but the pandemic has done so much. Now, this is my bathroom, of course. Oh, yeah. It's cute. This is where your monies go. This is where your monies go. You know? Oh, yeah, I do my little thing here. Oh, yeah, they did a nice sign for me at the airport when I arrived. It was so cute. Now, like a little entourage. It was cute. It was cute. It was nice. I liked it. It was really cute. Oh, guys. So listen, I gotta talk to you about relationship breakups. And since Uncle Fernando is transitioning, I wanna do a video to let you know that it's okay. It's okay to end a relationship if it needs to end. Everything has cycles and phases. Everything. So you have to have the wisdom to know when something is over and when to move on. Now, we're gonna break down the emotional index, the emotional toll that a relationship breakup does or generates. But then there's also an emotional buildup that is created before or at the prelude of the breakup of a relationship. These are difficult phases, but they don't have to be if you understand on a more cosmic level what's going on. So without further ado, I'm going to still keep it Fernando, okay? So let me sit down. Let's jump in. And I'm going to be doing a series today, all day, and I'm going to give you Rome. That's the theme. I'm going to give you Rome, okay? I'm going to do a video on every aspect of Caesar's palace, because let me tell you, it is like really, literally staying in Rome. It's like being in Rome. It really is. Oh, it's beautiful. It's fantastic. And it helps me then regroup, come back, and jump back in the game. Because you have to jump back in the game. But when you jump back in the game, you can't have residue. You can't have residual feelings and pain. And Uncle Fernando is going to teach you how to navigate through that, how to navigate through these feelings, how to work through it. It's an opportunity to reinvent yourself and also to add to you another dimension, another layer that you did not have prior to the breakup of the relationship. So there are two buildups going on here. One buildup is that you gather strength at the prelude of a relationship breakup. Several things can occur. Either you build up energy and momentum to prepare you for the impact of the breakup that then will affect you afterwards on many levels. And then you have to prepare for the aftermath of that relationship breakup, still dealing with the emotional buildup that precipitated the breakup in the first place. Communication is another factor that can either add to the experience or it can add in a good way or in a bad way. It can delay or prolong the inevitable. Communication is another faction that we're going to discuss and how to handle or what type or method of communication should be approached at the prelude of a breakup and then afterwards. And then there's another faction that we have to look at, which is the reflection of the relationship as a whole and the role that took place in the breakup, and also what you have learned and contributed to that person who is now you're breaking up, and vice versa. These are things that have to be put together in an anaphase period. In astrology, we call this the balsamic period. In the balsamic period, you have the ability to gather momentum, but also to rest. There's a point where there has to be a psychological rest from the fight, from the battle, and also the emotional exhaustion that a relationship, especially if it deals with, there's a lot of complexity involved, can generate. Okay? And I'm going to answer some of your questions concerning the topic. Okay? So let us begin. Ay, the ghetto mi socio. Pick on them. All right. All right, all right. All right. All right. So understand. Oh, of course. Please, please. And you know what I did? I got a trick. I want to show you a trick that gives you a boost of energy. I do have my Speedo underwears, so let me put it on the side here, not to cause any inappropriateness. Now, okay. One thing, yes, no, I'm not drinking early. Well, listen, I got this elderberry juice. Let me show it to you. This is something that I want you guys to do. Oh. This is elderberry, black elderberry. Do you know how much this costs? $15. It's pure concentrated elderberry. Blackberry is very good for you. Like goji berry. You pour some, and then you pour some Merlot with ice, and you grate it. It kills completely the taste of the Merlot. It does. It kills it completely. It tastes like elderberry, blackberry. And it also kills the alcohol. It kills the alcohol. So you don't taste the alcohol and you don't get the high of the alcohol of the wine. That's how powerful it is because it's the antioxidants. So you actually kill the integrity of the wine. But the wine has a lot of radicals that are very good for the blood and it's very good for the heart. That is not killed, but the alcohol is completely destroyed and the integrity of the wine. But if you do this in the morning, you mix it with that, because red wine is very good for the blood. Dominicans, we know how to do things like that. They're called ponche, and it's delicious. It's a great boost of energy. Oh, okay. Let's jump right in. You have to understand that when you are in a relationship, relationships are not forever. Okay? Relationships are not forever. Why do we have relationships? In order to understand the context of relationships, we need to look at the relationship that we have with ourselves. The first successful relationship that occurs, believe it or not, is the relationship that you foster between yourself and the Creator. That's the first relationship that you can generate or create. Hold on one second. Too much light. Let me turn off a little bit so you can see the beauty behind me, the scenery behind me. The sun is still rising. Is that good? Well, that didn't do much. That didn't do, oh, I see, that's the sun. That's the sun. And the thing is that the sun is bleak and weak. And the sun is just rising. But anyway, what can I say? The relationship, actually, I don't like it like this. Mm-mm. No, no, I don't like it like this. Uh, it's not working well. It's not working well. Yeah, I did one line, and not the other one. Okay, but so understand that in a relationship dynamic, we live in a world of duality. That's the first thing that you gotta understand. Nature reflects that duality. Everything is in twos, right? The sky, the water, the fire and air, man and woman, day and night. No, opposite polarities of experiences and negative polarities of existence. So we live in a world of duality, light and shadow, good and evil. In the Bible, in the book of Isaiah 45, 46, verse I think it's verse 12 onward. I can give it to you if you need for me to give it to you specifically. Where it talks about Jehovah God being both good and evil, creating great things and bad things. Even if you don't believe in God and even if you don't believe in the Bible and all that stuff, even in the Bible, it is quite clear that a reference is made of duality. Okay? So a relationship with a human being is a beautiful thing. Our first relationship is with our Creator, where we make a pact where we're going to become human and separate ourselves from God to become human, to reincarnate as a human being. That's the first relationship. The second relationship is the pact that we make with our mothers and fathers upon being born. So we choose our mothers and we choose our fathers before we are born. This is called the prenatal epoch. Look it up, research it. It's called the prenatal epoch. So life is about relationships. All kinds of relationships, from the highest to the lowest, from the outer to the inner, and from the inner to the outer. Any way you look at it, it is a relationship aspect of human interaction and experience that allows us to learn and discover who we are as people at every stage of evolution. There is always a relationship dynamic that we are forging with another human being that allows us to become better human beings down the road. Your mother and your father are a relationship dynamic that guide you, raise you. Your relationship dynamic with your teachers, your school, your peers is another way that you learn and grow and evolve outside of parental supervision. Then you got friends. And that's another relationship dynamic that they help you understand who you are aside of your parents' understanding of who you are and aside of the educational and teaching institutions and schooling that teaches you about the world around you. So every faction of human experience is a relationship dynamic that, if we really look at it objectively, allows us to rediscover ourselves. When we have a relationship with our parents, we discover an aspect of ourselves that we would not know if we did not have that relationship dynamic with our parents. We have the same dynamic when we have a relationship with our brothers and our sisters, our cousins, our aunts, our uncles. It's a different relationship faction in which it's like a prison. And you learn from yourself objectively, not outside of the parents, to your friends, teachers, lovers, friends. These are all factions, like a Rubik's Cube. Depending on how when you're moving the cube, your relationship with nature. Do you spit in the street? Do you kill a cockroach? You know? Do you take a post time and a nail and you put it on the tree and nail that on the tree, which is illegal to do, like in campaigns? You know? What is your relationship with nature? What is your relationship with yourself? Okay? Because these relationship dynamics and these relationship factions are very important because they help shape and mold who you are or who you're going to be. This is not that much different if we're talking about interpersonal relationships. When your mother and your father, ideally, you're gonna bury them. Your parents are not supposed to bury you. You're supposed to bury your parents. When you're married, who's gonna go first? The husband or the wife? It's usually the husband. Okay? So relationships don't last forever. They're born, they peak, they ebb, they flow, and then they begin to wane, and then they outdo their usefulness. This is true in marriage. Not all marriages are designed to last forever. So, not all human relationships outside of the constitution of marriage are supposed to last forever either. It's a beautiful thing when you have a relationship with someone, whether a man or a woman, whether married or single or committed, where it can last for decades and decades and decades. That's a beautiful thing. That is an exception, not the rule though. Oh, I gotta be careful, no. I got hit running because early and it's just so hot, the heat, and I don't like air conditioning. I don't like air conditioning. And with this corona, you don't know what's on these vents. So I cut the air. Mm, mm. Oh, oh. I love you, it's so funny. This is, it is weird to now go on trips and do it alone and not have a partner in which to go out and trip and do it with. Yes, there's a void, a vacuum. Yeah. And listen, it doesn't feel comfortable, but you have to muscle through that. Just like you have to push through the womb and be born. That wasn't an easy process, and your mother could have died in the process, like my partner's mother, who died at childbirth when he was born. Not all relationships survive, including that of your parents. You know? So it's difficult to pass through the channel of birth, or rebirth, however you want to call it. That too is a relationship in which you might die in the process of being born, or you might lose your parent. So this is letting you know, just in principle, that relationships are not here to last, because we're not here to last either. We have a relationship with our planet, with our universe. You know, these are all factions of human relating. So, of course, there are more intimate connections in relationship dynamics than in other intimate connections or other factions of relationships that can create those dynamics. But when we move into the area of interpersonal relationships, then we're entering a more gray area. You know, what can I put it? The actual index, an emotional index is created in every faction of human relationships that we have. Okay? And that, what did it stop? The emotional index that's created is contingent upon your fear factor, your communication factor, and also your willingness to evolve. Because all relationships are roadways, road maps towards evolving. You know, let me tell you, I think that I've become one of the best persons because of some of the relationships that I've been through, some of the relationships that I have to endure and go through. You know, it makes you grow up. It makes you become it can evolve you or it can degenerate you. It depends on how you handle the relationship, how you handle the relationship breakup. A relationship doesn't have to end ugly. A relationship doesn't have to end clamorously. A relationship can end when the both parties can reach a mutual agreement to part ways. It gets complicated if the relationship, because there are seven um, causes, seven causes for the breakups of relationships. I go into details about them in my website and my homepage. I go into and they are Sanskrit in the Upanishads, in the Vedas, in the Bhagavad Gita. It talks about relationship dynamics and how to handle them and the consequences of the breakup and why they have to occur and what we take away from the breakup versus how we are felt. What we take away is a better way to look at and evaluate a breakup than how we've been affected by it. Because how you've been affected by it is not as useful as to what you walk away with. We want to walk away with something that we can use and is tangible in the next relationship. We don't want to go into the next relationship affected by the consequences of something that's still unresolved in the prior relationship. You cannot move forward to the next relationship if you don't have issues that are still unfinished or unresolved in the last relationship. And there are many ways to handle that and navigate all that. Listen, in my personal relationship, I did some horrible things, but so did the other person. And the person's a Scorpio. So when you're dealing with a Scorpio, at the caliber of what I had to deal with, I have to hit very hard and leave no prisoners and take no punches and take no prisoners. When you're dealing with that type of intensity of an energy, and you cannot look at that as an enemy or as an opponent because it's someone that you once shared intimacy with and developed a good 1/10 of your life with. And there's a lot to be said about that. There's some relationships that last much longer than that. And the devastation of divorce could be devastating. But understand that just as devastating it is to die, we still can recover, even posthumously. Because it really depends on how you look at it and how you interpret it. And then what is the ultimate feeling index that you ultimately will walk away with concerning that partner that you're leaving behind, and vice versa. Will the relationship evolve towards another form of relating, or is it just parting of the ways and that's it? Nothing else, nothing more. Sometimes it might have to be that way. But that also is not a permanent situation. Because again, people evolve and time does heal all wounds. There are times where you can reconvene, not like before, but in a way where now there's a mutual respect and understanding and growth. Okay? That's something that should be the aim. And if we choose that attitude, if we choose that way to look at it, trust me, the pain, because it is a transition. It is a transition. The pain of that transition will be less and less. Yes, it does help if you have support, if you have a support system. I myself don't have a support system. So what do? I take trips, I take travels. I go and I work out. I work on my new book. I throw myself into my work. The school, which I have to run. So maybe I need to be alone at this point because I have a lot to have to bring off the ground. And relationships can be distracting. Especially if we're moving towards the tail end of a relationship that's not working out, or there is a changing of values. Sometimes the values in a relationship could change on you. They could change on you. And we're done with part one. Guys, donate so we can continue. Thank you, guys. All right. Now, you can join the school. I have to give you an announcement. We're still trying to figure out the third party distribution of the videos. We're having an issue with that, unfortunately. So we are done, guys, and stay tuned for part two.